start again. It's a redskin.
What's going on, everybody? It's the Bull Show, aka Aiden, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today I kind of want to throw a couple of things at you, ladies and gentlemen, in terms of how the Chicago Bulls could potentially play, or how I personally think the Chicago Bulls could potentially play in the future, with obviously the main topic of discussion will probably be revolving around DeMar DeRozan. He's a unique individual, ladies and gentlemen, and with unique individuals come certain playing styles that the Chicago Bulls have to adapt to. So I kind of want to throw my, opinion into the fire, ladies and gentlemen, and see whether or not people agree or disagree with what I have to say. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show. Turn notifications on and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about what you think our playing style should be, with DeMar DeRozan obviously playing in the team and when DeMar DeRozan is sitting on the bench, ladies and gentlemen. Now, at the end of the day, I'm not necessarily making this video once again to disrespect the players involved in, this video, what I'm about to say for some of these guys. But at the end of the day, I feel like at this point, what I saw against the last game against the Washington Wizards, granted, it was our first win in ages. Granted, it was against a weaker side in many ways because of their injuries and stuff like that. I saw something that I thought maybe the Bulls can potentially use in the future. And I kind of already talked a little bit about it in the game reaction against the Washington Wizards. If you have not seen that video yet, I highly recommend you check it out. I think it was a good video, and obviously very happy that the Bulls won, in all honesty. But I did mention it in that video, and I want to go more in detail about it now. So let's get started. One of the most important things about how a team is played is through tempo, ladies and gentlemen. How fast or how slow your team likes to play. Now, there's no defined answer in which one is better. For some teams, especially some older teams, they like to play a slower tempo. Slow it down, use the mismatches, take advantages of those mismatches, get your shots that way, and then that's how you win. Some of the younger teams like to go faster. Obviously, get the rebound, good defensive display, go out and transition, run as fast as you can, try to get some easy open opportunities from the break, the fast break. Not necessarily, one is better than the other. Some might be more valuable for certain teams than others. But obviously, as a Bulls team right now, we're in a situation where I feel like we are constantly playing very, very slow. And that doesn't necessarily always help this Chicago Bulls team for how we can approach games. There are certain styles and certain ways that we will have to play for us to win games. And I feel like the transition play of this team is easily one of our best attributes. But unfortunately, it's not always used enough as a team. And that is why sometimes you do see stagnant basketball. Sometimes you do see constant isolation and hero ball. And sometimes that hurts this Chicago Bulls team. So I want to specify that I don't necessarily always think this is DeMar DeRozan's fault, but I do feel like when DeMar DeRozan is on the court compared to when DeMar DeRozan is on the court, we can see huge differences in how we play. So I want to give you some examples here, ladies and gentlemen. There are certain teams that do like to play both fast and slow in terms of their tempo. And I mentioned the Phoenix Suns in the last video. With the Phoenix Suns, Chris Paul in the starting lineup, obviously one of their best players, is a gifted playmaker and someone that at the end of the day controls the pace of the game. Chris Paul does not always like to play fast tempo, run out in transition, get easy open opportunities. Chris Paul is a guy that likes to call plays, takes advantage of mid-matches, uses the pick and roll nicely, and it's a slower tempo that the Phoenix Suns play when Chris Paul is in the lineup. However, as soon as Chris Paul goes to the bench, Cameron Payne comes on, or whoever is their point guard from that spot comes on, they push the tempo. Devin Booker runs. Cameron Payne runs. DeAndre Ayton, or whoever the backup center is, runs. They have a team that can run, ladies and gentlemen, but they pick and choose when they need to run. Because Chris Paul, you don't necessarily need to run. You can rely on Chris Paul to get you open shots from set plays, which is very good in a playoff situation because not everything is transition in the NBA playoffs. However, when Chris Paul is off the court and there are teams that want to run, then the Phoenix Suns, Devin Booker, all of those guys are able to do that as well. I feel like the Chicago Bulls should learn something from this. So the way that I'm proposing we play is obviously when DeMar DeRozan is on the court, he's going to be the guy that dominates the ball. Whether we like it or not, he's a ball handler. He's going to be the guy that dictates the play. He's going to be able to control the pace. And that's something we're going to have to deal with. DeMar DeRozan is not a strong off-ball player. The best he can do, in my opinion, is enter the post from time to time, which I do think we need to see more of. But DeMar DeRozan, as a pure off-ball player, He's just not that guy, ladies and gentlemen. He's not that guy in terms of what Zach LaVine can be. He's not that guy in terms of being in the corner and just waiting for his corner shots. He's just not going to be effective in that way. So with DeMar DeRozan, we're going to have to embrace the fact that he will be a ball handler in this team. But we're going to have to play shooters around him, ladies and gentlemen. Now, whether we go and get shooters or we use the shooters that we have, I think we need to spread the floor as much as possible and hope that the defenses will crumble. And if that's the case, we can use DeMar DeRozan to play make and to get open shots, or he will take advantages of the mismatches that he has. But DeMar DeRozan has to do better in terms of facilitating, in terms of not having tunnel vision, in terms of getting the right guys the right shots. It's not always just about shooting the mid-ranges for DeMar DeRozan. He has to be open to being a pure playmaker from time to time and to seek other people's shots, to use the pick and rolls better, and obviously to get those corner shots as available as they possibly can be. DeMar DeRozan has to take that responsibility. And of course, when his mid-range shots are there, when there are mismatches available, you go to them and you capitalize on them. If Nikola Vucevic has a 6'9", 6'8" player on him in the post, doesn't matter if DeMar DeRozan is the ball handler, you go to the mismatches, you get Vucevic in the post. If Zach LaVine has a very, very poor defender on him, you go to Zach LaVine. Then at the end of the day, you run plays for those guys. DeMar DeRozan has to be that guy. And of course, if there's a mismatch on DeMar DeRozan, he could do what he does, and most people will be able to live with that. The tempo will most likely be slower. DeMar DeRozan is not a transition player from time to time. He's not always going to be an out-and-out runner. And of course, he dictates the play and he plays slower. However, when Zach LaVine is on the court and DeMar DeRozan is on the bench, ladies and gentlemen, this team needs to take a playbook out of the Phoenix Suns and just run, run, run. Use the pace that you have. Use your athletic players, ladies and gentlemen, and go out and transition and get as many open looks, easy layups as you possibly can. I cannot think of how many players on this team that we actually have that is willing and able to run. I look at Zach LaVine. Obviously, he is an elite transition guy, in my opinion. I think he can definitely work in a transition system. You got guys like Ayo Dosunmu, very, very good in transition. Javonte Green, very, very good in transition. Caruso, very, very good in transition. Derrick Jones Jr., very, very good in transition. Patrick Williams is a guy that I feel like can develop that game. Kobe White, another guy that can develop that game. I'm sure I've said Ayo already, but if I haven't, Ayo is fantastic in transition. There are so many guys. Even Andre Drummond, as a center, is a guy that can run out in transition. He's very quick for a 7-footer, ladies and gentlemen. There are a lot of guys on this team that are athletic, that can run, and that can use that transition play wisely. And we are very good at finishing layups, in my opinion, as well. And obviously, we've got elite dunkers on this team. So use that to your advantage. Go out and run, ladies and gentlemen. And let's share the ball while we run. Let's not hog it and just try and go and contest over two people. Let's go out and transition, run as a team, and see what we can create out of that. And I think those two, elements are really, really important for this team. Being able to slow down the ball, relying on DeMar DeRozan to find open individuals, as well as taking advantage of mismatches, no matter who the player is. That's something we're going to have to identify. And unfortunately, we can't play fast every single possession. But if DeMar DeRozan can slow down the tempo, can dictate the play, and become a true facilitator on this team, like kind of what he did with the San Antonio Spurs, then that's the DeMar DeRozan that we truly need. He gets everybody involved. Obviously, he gets his own when he needs to, and it's all happy days. We play the slow tempo, and we can use that to our advantage. When DeMar DeRozan is off the court, the ball's got to be running on all cylinders. And I saw that a little bit against the Washington Wizards, and I'm hoping that's something we're going to continue to see, because having two dilemmas, having two dynamics to your team, it's very hard to stop, ladies and gentlemen. Certain teams will be accustomed to playing a zone or to playing man on man, or not necessarily, being the fastest paced team in the NBA. But all of a sudden, if you got that mode where you can just run and share the ball and go out and transition constantly, then it adds more dilemmas to the team, because now, for example, a team like the Magic will be expecting us to run in transition. But with DeMar in the team, you also got to deal with the slow tempo, the one-on-ones, and not being able to crumble as a team. You got two dynamics there, ladies and gentlemen. And I think obviously some systems fit others better. But obviously, when you have two systems there that you could go to at any given time, it does add a lot of really good dynamics to this team. So I hope that we can see that more in the future. But again, it's going to have to be ownerships on the players. DeMar's going to have to take a lot of responsibility and try to be a playmaker. If he can't do that and he's going to be a constant shooter in an isolation way, or to go into a pick and roll knowing that he's going to shoot, then at the end of the day, it's not going to work and you're going to see stagnation like we always do. But if you rely on DeMar DeRozan to become an out-and-out playmaker and to learn how to pass the ball a little bit more and get more people open in the spots that needs to be open in, then we might just make this system work, ladies and gentlemen, where we can use our transition to our advantage, and then obviously we can use the I guess slower pace to our advantage as well. And I think without a shadow of a doubt, if we can make the playoffs, that will help us in that way as well. But it starts here, ladies and gentlemen. It starts right now, and I'm hoping Billy Donovan can really invest their time to really get, I guess, good open plays that DeMar DeRozan can use to become a playmaker, and I hope they invest the time in learning how to play both slower and faster as a team. So it's going to be hard work. I don't necessarily expect this to be done overnight, but I'm really hoping the Bulls can find a way to invest a lot of the time to do that. Maybe they already have. Maybe that's what we're trying to do, but we're failing to do it so much. And we constantly just play so slow, but we're not trying to do that. But trust me, ladies and gentlemen, look at the Warriors game as well. When we played in transition, a lot of our performances, a lot of our good run was with DeMar DeRozan on the bench, and we were running out in transition. It works. It can work. It's not an easy job to do. It's going to be very tiring because you're going to be constantly running, but it works, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope in some way, form or fashion, we can learn to adapt to any style that we're able to play, slower or faster. And hopefully the Bulls can get that done. And if we do, we might just see a turning point. Not only beating the mediocre teams, apparently we have the second easiest schedule in the entire NBA now, but also beating good quality teams. Because again, being dynamic and having multiple elements to your game is ridiculously hard to stop. And not every NBA defense is elite and perfect. So we got to make sure we can capitalize on these avenues, being a team that's lacking in offense. When you have two dynamics, you're going to be an improved offensive team, in my opinion, as well. Hopefully that makes sense. Again, you might think the Bulls are already trying to do this, but I just feel like at this point, maybe we can try something different, but it's not too far away from what we're already doing to see if something can work. Sometimes it's not necessarily just the rotations that will screw us over, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe it's just the style in which some of these players are being asked to play in. If DeMar DeRozan took, for example, 5 less shots and focused more on being a playmaker and trying to get 2 or 3 more assists, this team could be completely different from time to time. So let's hope we can focus on that a little bit more. But again, maybe people already think we're trying to do that, but I think if we can perfect it, we might be able to see something really special with this team. Again, I've lost my faith. I still do think changes need to be made. I think we need more shooters, in all honesty. If we want to make a system like this work all the time, we need shooters, simple as that. And I think we need to make trades. And ultimately, don't know Billy Donovan's the right head coach. I don't think he is. All those things stand still till now. I'm not changing my mind on that. But if we're going to have to deal with this situation where the big three is going to stay, Billy Donovan is going to stay, then we've got to try different systems to make sure they can work. And they're going to make us believers. And I don't know if they'll be able to do that or not, but hopefully they can get the job done. At the end of the day, it's either we demand changes or we stick with what we have. And I don't know which one is going to be the outcome, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you in the next Chicago Bulls video, ladies and gentlemen. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.